Today, I want to talk about D3, the Vault of the Drow. So, I'm running this ragtag little party through here. I'm going to show you first a picture from D2 in the middle of the fight here. Okay, so here's the map showing the different sections in D1, 2, and 3 leading to the Vault of the Drow. This is the player's map. The DM's map has lots of detail that, for the most part, the players did not explore. They mostly stuck to the railroad. But it does come with... I didn't notice until we were doing D3 that the maps like these in D1, 2, and 3 were different from each other. So I explored this. Alright, so this seems like a good opportunity to show you a picture of Nikolai. Nikolai, one of the characters, he's a Daros, which is basically an insane dwarf, and instead of putting his lobster back in the pool in D2 like he was supposed to, he bought a chamber pot to carry it around with. Also, he has an illusionary torch that follows him around. He named it Dr. Lighter, named the lobster pincher, and he has a delusion that they can both talk to him. So he's quite an interesting character. So we went into D3, and the first encounter that came across was this chamber with a statue. And the statue turned out to be a succubus. And so I bought a selection of demons just so I could have the succubus one, but I paid money for a succubus and she's not naked like she is in the first edition monster manual. They could make her naked without showing any of the naughty bits if they posed her right. But now they put clothes on her. Okay. So there's I use the same map for both this and the layer underneath. And when I first came in, it looked like a forest, a bunch of illusionary trees with a statue in the middle. The statue turned out to be the succubus. But these were illusions, and Nikolai failed his save, so now he has a new illusion following him around, Lucifer, the talking tree that only he can see and hear. And Nikolai was the one who got ensnared by the suggestion that Succubus put out to defend the statue, so he was defending her while the others were fighting her, and she has a vampire, Belgos, which they were able to turn, but not until after all these bats and giant rats came out and attacked at once. It was an interesting fight. And I got a picture of here, mid-fight here. We can see what's going on here. And the module came with a nice picture of the Drow vampire and his succubus girlfriend. See, doesn't show anything, but you can tell she's naked. Alright, so that was the first encounter. And then the next encounter, let's find that. Then I go down tunnels again to the next encounter, which is like a layer of spiders. In D2, they managed to acquire this Drow. Let's see, what's her name again? Daenerys of House Naquar. So they managed to acquire Drow. They rescued her from the Kowtow. And they fought the spiders and found the Spider Queen, and Misery was able to charm the Spider Queen and turn her into, convince her to be his steed to carry him to, or her to, the Drow. So that was the next encounter. And the next encounter, they didn't even have a fight. They negotiated their way through. Here it is. There's tunnels leading into a room where there's like a castle thing, and there's all this elaborate stuff about what happens when you fight your way through. But our party consisted of a alpha doll, which is basically a drow, an actual drow, and there was a henchman who's an alpha doll. And so they didn't really have to fight much. They just paid some platinum and made their way through. At this point, both Nikolai and Butte had something called naked vision. This is because their sense of touch had been increased, and the less they wore, the more acute their sense of touch was, the more they could see. So if they went around naked, they could see things, feel things a long way off. It's sort of like Daredevil's radar sense. And so what I did is I turned up their visibility using the dynamic lighting to simulate that. So they were going around naked anyway. So when they met the Drow, I got a chance to quote from this great comic. One of the Drow turned to Butte and said, "Foolish dwarf, wandering deep into the Underdark, we Drow are a matriarchy. This means you are now a breeding slave." And the other Drow says, "Wait, why is he naked already?" So I actually got to use that because, yeah, they were doing this. So they made it through this gate and into the Vault of the Drow. So the Vault of the Drow, I couldn't make it to scale. I made it big, but I couldn't really make it to scale because it's really, really big. But, here's our party. Here. And, a couple of my players have drawn pictures of their own characters, and another one has photoshopped his characters from existing pictures. So we got pretty good looking icons for them as a result of that actually look like the character. That was one of my problems with using miniatures. And he named his torch Dr. Lighter, and he also acquired this Kowtow cleric of lobstrology, who started a religion of the lobster. So Darenil was grateful for them for rescuing them from the Kowtow, and they posed as, those who were not drow looking, posed as prisoners in order to get through here. And so she took them home and gave them time to heal up and stuff like that. And so thinking about what can they do to destroy the drow, but when the more they thought about it, the less they thought about, well, why do we even want to hurt the drow? There's nothing in it for us. So they'd heard about the Fane of Loth, the most unholiest of shrines of Loth. So they decided to go see it. And it was in a big cavern. And as soon as they got into it, they had initiative, and they just didn't try to negotiate. They decided to attack. So they fought at the edge of the chamber, and in the chamber was a temple, which I have a map of. Okay. So they went to the temple, and they had a brief fight at the stairs, but then they decided not to go up there. At this point, they'd killed enough Drow that Tippett could do animate dead and made a bunch of flying zombies and had flying zombies fly them up to the top. So I'll switch maps again. So I put levels 2 through 5 all in one map because it was just easier. So now here's the maps. Yeah, so I came in and got a bunch of dead Drow here left over because they met the most powerful Drow cleric first and fought her. And they rescued a human she was keeping captive, a human fighter who was insane, but a heal spell cured that. And they fought them. They continued to fight. There were a few times when they would cast summon and summon demons. This was my favorite, the orb demon here, which after they were finished with, they sent it down the stairs after the Drow. So they fought some of the highest level Drow clerics, but then they sent this thing down the stairs, and I heard screams and stuff, but they never saw the Drow fleeing from the face of this orb demon that was chasing them. So, anyway. Yeah, so here's the different levels here. Mostly cleared out because they were fleeing the orb demon until they got down here. Here's our party going to, they decided not to fight on this level. They fought a little bit, but mostly they just fled and went down the stairs. And by this time, it was mostly low-level ones with the higher level ones who'd fled down here. So they went back down to the ground floor. And so here we are back at the ground floor. And they didn't investigate it that much. They came down the stairs and they fought the spider on the stairs. There's a big spider on each stairs. And they met. Here's a picture of our succubus again. There's a good picture. There's a castle right inside the Vault of the Drow, which they just skipped completely. No need to do that castle. But there's a good picture. Find it. Here it is. Great picture of Loth fighting apparently topless female maids here. Yeah, that came in the module now. Yeah, so they fought the Loth illusion, and of course Nikolai failed his save, so now he's got a Loth illusion as a friend. And during the course of all this, Thundar, the fighter they'd rescued, fell through the veil into the demon web pits, and so they went after him eventually. But they also tried going downstairs to see what's down there. So let's find that. Okay, so they went down the stairs, and one of the characters used shapes change to turn into a lobster with a horseshoe magnet. I had some demons all prepared for Loth to gate in, but with that using shape change to turn into a slime demon, they were able to defeat the Loth avatar pretty easily, and they did meet some of these guys and they just killed them. They didn't bother to recruit them. So they made pretty short work of this before moving on. In fact, D3, they didn't really get involved in the Drow politics much at all. It was all pretty quick for them before they went on to the Queen of the Demon Web Pits. Let's pull Thunder back here. Yeah, so okay. Thunder, the player who got him as a henchman, drew his own picture for him. He also drew this picture I'm using for, no, sorry, he didn't draw that picture. There's another picture he drew, I used for Loth later that he drew. So that is D3, Queen of the Demon Web Pits.